Hello trader, this is Ad Zero, and today I'm gonna do a recap for February 19, and I'm gonna tell you that how I had a biggest green day, and I will also want to walk you through that strategy, and also I wanted to walk you through my other trades. But the learning message I want to give it to you that how I managed the trade, and then the question is that whether I was expecting that the big green day. No, I was not expecting, but I'm going to walk you through why I was not expecting, how it turned out to be at that big day. All right, let's start with my first trade, what I had on FCEL. So on FCEL, if you see, this was typical gap and go trade for me. And as you see, I went for opening range after it pulled back down. I went long here and I couldn't get that big a move. I was expecting a typical Friday, not get a big move. I took a one partial here. The moment it came down back, touched my point, I closed my position. That's why you will see that I only had a profit of $194. And it's because that uh, in the first 15 minutes, it was just consolidating within the 10 cents range. And I just, pulled, came out from the trade. Now, the plug was also like this. I cannot recall now where is my entry, but I guess my entry was when the second time going high. I think this was my entry here. I think that was it. So when it tried to pull second time high, I went long on this candle. It came back up here. I took some profit. It consolidated, and I took the profit out because if you see here, every after every green candle, it's a pullback down. So can up and down. Up. So this one is not a momentum stock. You need a lot of patience, and if you do not get that momentum, and it can easily pull back down. So I was not really too much happy of the with the price action. So what I did again, based on my share size, I only had a small profit and I just stopped out. Then I next trade is a TWLO. And TWLO was an interesting one because Mayor also took this trade, but my entries were different than the Mayor. So if I correctly remember, Mayor entry was 427 here on this candle. But I didn't enter on this candle. I want this to break this candle after pulling back down, pulling back up. So it came down with the momentum, it went back up. When this spike has been over, I entered on this candle when it broke again this. But as you expect from the Tulo, it came down nicely and then again pulled back up. And it spiked up down and then came back. This time when it came down here, I basically thinking that I'm gonna put my stop loss here. To be very honest, I was thinking that I should put my stop loss here. But the given in my past experience, I've seen that these are over $400 shares and $1-2 of spike is very easy for them to do it. And I decided not to do it. And I think that was my mistake. If I have stopped out here, I've only lost 350 bucks. But since I did not put this hard stop order, because I was thinking, to be very honest, because it's so choppy, it's not moving in any direction. And the moment it spiked up here, I said I'm gonna stop out. I don't want to take it anymore, and I just stopped out. That's why I had a $300, 350 share size, and I lost almost 3 points here. And then it came to a CCIV, which was the main trade where I had a bigger profit. So now let's start with uh, you know CCIV daily. Let's look at daily first, and you will understand why I was doing the same thing. And this is the lesson I have learned from the Mayor's video. So the Mayor, when he Mayor traded Mara and the Ryan, it was extended strategy. But I realized when looking at it, I also traded on the same day Mara, right? But my profits were different than him, and the reason being is that he was much more patient and than me. And I realized that the patience and acceptability of the notion of taking that loss is very important if you wanted to have a big run or big profit. So now if you look at the daily is clearly extended. It's already had one topping tail, two topping tail, and the trading were happening under this level of the 60 if you look at it, right? So I was thinking that okay, the given this is going this way, it might gonna go short, right? And what I did, if I go back now to the 1 minute execution, and you can also look at, let me show you before the 1 minute. Let's look at the 5 minutes and the 30 minutes. Let's look at the 15 minutes first, okay? So now this is a 15 minutes chart, and this is very important also for you guys to learn that the multi time frame is the key, is also a very key for you if you want to take a little longer run to your stocks. So now if you look at it, we are on this day, and this is the day before, and this is the day before. If you look at it, day before it ran up and it dropped back again on the 60. You see the 60, and this one is dropped on 60. Then it tried to ran up, couple of time, crossed the 60, came down again, rejected. Then it tried to go up all the way to 65, and then again rejected, and it came down below 57. And today is the day. And this day again, it tried to went up, not to the high of the day, but 65. So I know that market, this CCIV is not going anywhere towards the high, because high is 65 and right now is trading at 62. So many short sellers who wanted to short, they were looking at every pop, and they're gonna do the short, because they've, how, when shorts are gonna cover, when it's gonna break 65. If it's gonna make high of the day again, then they're gonna cover their shares. But if they're not going, then everyone gonna do a short sell here. So we know the 65 to 62 is already been here, and my thought process is now coming, and now it had consolidated in the pre-market. And if you look at it, when our entry was at the 10:30, and now let me go to the 1 minute chart uh, for you to better understand the execution. So this was the time I basically entered at this point here, and it came down, and I took majority of my portion out. No, I think I took out the 2 quarters of my position out on here. Mayor didn't took any profit, but I took the profit here because I was expecting that when it's gonna go first time close to the close to the yesterday close, is gonna bounce back, and I was right. And I what I did, I covered here, but I then it went up and up, and I think Mayor stopped out here. But I decided myself, I think Mayor started here, I think. And what I decided that I'm not going to take the stop out, because I already covered a lot of my position, and I wanted to give a chance to run this stock. And I'm going to stop out at over this high. If it's going to go higher over this, the previous hump, which is over $61, and if you recall at that time, the Yogi was also saying about the 61. So because he was thinking that 61 is a correct stop loss. And I say, okay, if it's going to go over 61, I'm going to stop out. If not, then I'm going to let this run. When, and to be honest, I was accepting the loss because it came all the way up. I had shares left, and I almost $2,000 negative at this point. And if it's going to move big up, I might going to go 2,500. And I say I'm fine, because I was fine. And why I was fine, because in the last week I had a good profit, had a cushion. I already took one partial, so I'm gonna be okay. My today's day gonna be $1,000 negative. And I was fine that to end the week with $1,000 negative, because I had a good cushion last week. So my plan was that I'm gonna give some room to trade this, like the mayor he did for ride. these kind of exchange stocks have a tendency to spike. But if you look at it now, even you look at the 1 minute chart, do you see that it's clearly making lower highs? And even if you look at the 5 minute charts, you're going to see much more appreciation. So see, look at the previous, if you look at the 5 minutes for 3 days, you see here, it's clearly making a channel a lower high, and I have no reason for me to take a $2,000 hit, which stock is extended and on the 2 days intraday making lower low. So what I did, I say I'm gonna let this run, and I'm not gonna take this. I'm not gonna take this because I'm gonna let this run. I'm not gonna take the hit out. I'm gonna let this run. And then now let me remove all the lines, and then you want to see the 1 minute charts. And you will be surprised to see here what happened exactly. So as I mentioned, first partial here, it came all the way up. I was not doing anything. Instead, I have added into my position here, and I'm going to teach you in my workshop tomorrow how to build up the position. I'm going to share you something. You might going to say this is you're adding in the loser, but I'm going to tell you why I did that. So I added into here a very small size, not to make, not to average down, but small size. And I'm going to give you the reason, not now. I'm going to give you the reason in my next, in the tomorrow's workshop, how to build the position. And then it came down, and if you see here, and now start chopping around the 60. There was a big seller on the 60. Every time it hit 60, someone dumped the share. Every time it hit 60, dump the share. Every time it hit the 60, dump the share. I was waiting patiently to see that how does go. Again, it spiked up, came down, tried to went up, and again see lower highs. Tried to went down. This time when it came down, I was certain that this may be the time I'm gonna make the profit. But no, it came down, touched to my break-even point, and it went up back up in again 60. Again 60, someone dumped a lot of shares on it. Someone is selling big time on the 60, and there was no bid up after that. So once take the bid, and I think this is a rule for level 2 to learn for you guys as well, that you need to see there's a big seller on the 60, and when there is a big seller on certain price, the price usually move towards that price. But then price will only go higher after the 60 if someone is increasing the ask. So from the 60 it goes to 60, 62, 60, 60, 60, 30, 60, 40, but there was no price stacking up after the 60. Once it crossed 60, it go back down and rejected the 60. So look at how many times rejected on this level. So again it rejected, came down. This time it can't even go over the VWAP. So I was so happy to see that it came down again tried to spike in, and the moment it spike in, someone dumped again a lot of shares, and it this time is a full rejection. Boom. Did I take profit here? No. I was expecting a big move this time. I was patiently looking at it. I don't want to take it. Here, I was again an over $1,500 profit, but I don't want to take that profit because I was in the loss of over $2,000. So I was taking a lot of pain, so I should expect a lot of gain as well. And I was not doing anything. I was waiting until here. It went back up again, and this time it crashed. And the moment it crashed down, I took all the profit down the here, and this is where I ended the profit. And I also added at this level. So I'm going to show you a quick video of my recording, uh, and you are going to see from the adventure that how I did that. So now look at this. Okay, so now it's coming in. I've increased my share size. I've just added into the position. Now let's see what happened. I'm showing you in a small size so you can learn it. So I'm thinking to add a bit more because this time it seems to me that it's gonna go. But let's see, does it go or no? Now I spiked in, it's moving, moving, no. So it's teetering around. Look at it's teetering around again. Again, it spiked up. I was patiently waiting, that's fine. Because now I'm the oversized. I'm ready to reduce if it's gonna go over 59.60. Now it didn't go over my break even. Let's see what is going next. See, I was ready to buy because I was just worried that if it's gonna back to spike on the 60, I don't want to take a full size risk here. So I'm gonna reduce back to my original size. Now see, it just teetered around on the 10 cents over my price and is just down. Now let's see. I already booked my limit orders here to make my profit. Keep going, keep going. I'm just gonna do a little faster so you can see what happened at the end. Okay, now this is the place I want you to watch here. Waiting. See, my patience are paying off. I took the first partial off just 1,000, which I added here because I'm not sure whether it's gonna touch again the last previous day close and go back. So in this case, I just covered the one which I've added here to in order for me to be more patient on the trade. Some partial here, some partial here, some partial here, and I have now 500 shares left. And I'm gonna take See, I put the trailing order for 25 shares and 250 shares now done. Now I do not have. So this is the way I manage the trade. And what lesson learned? What the teaching I'm going to give it to you? My plan to give it to you, the lesson is my plan to use it. Was I expecting a big return? No, on the Friday. But when it happened, and I realized that it's downtrending and this is on the multi time frame, the larger time frame, the big picture, the stock is moving down. Should I take a loss? I changed my plan. I gave some room because I had a good partial down there. So I was in the profit. So I say, it doesn't really matter. Even if I lose in the red day for today, I'm even be a green on the profitable day. I gave the trade some room on the extended stock and I took the profit. But just to imagine, if I did not take the profit and I keep at the end of the day, look at what happened at the end of the day. It went all the way to the 50. But who knows? I don't want to stay on the whole day. The point is that if you give a little bit of a room of your trade, it can really be benefit to you. But it's all about on your risk appetite, how much you can take a risk. If you are within your limit, the risk appetite, and you give a little larger room for the extended stocks, it can really pay you off. So hope you liked that window. I know this is a very long video, but hope you enjoy and you've learned a lot of things on from this video.